Hey guys, today we're gonna play some games. This is FIDE Master Michel, and in this video we're gonna be thinking and learning together. Keep watching. So I just created a challenge for a 5 minutes 5 seconds increment game, and I will be saying everything I think and analyze. So let's see, my opponent is playing King's Pawn. I will play Scandinavian defense here. It's one of my favorite defenses against King's Pawn. I even played it in tournaments. So let's see. Well, the main line here is knight c3, but he's not playing that. He's playing knight f3. Probably he will play it very soon. So I just continue my development, like knight f6. I'm hoping knight c3. Well, he doesn't play knight c3. d4 is still a good move, just improving, controlling the center, preparing to develop the bishop. So I would play c6 here. This is a typical move in Scandinavian, controlling the center, but also with some ideas like queen a5, and also the queen can come back over here. Okay, bishop e2. Well, I just developed like bishop f5. Usually I want to play e6 and I want the bishop to be out of the chain of pawns at that point. Okay, he's castling. I just continue with my development with a6. At some point he's going to play, yeah, something like that, like c4 or knight c3, and then usually I would go to a5. This is my favorite line, and that's what I'm going to do here. Queen a5. I can also go d8 here. There is a famous line with queen d6, but I like a5 here. I like this one. He can play bishop d2. Okay. Well, he's playing knight c3, and I just developed my dark squares bishop. I can go e7, f6, or b4. Well, I think the 6 is very well. The bishop is very active on the 6, so I don't see why not. My knight on f6, I would protect it with the other knight, going to d7, and it's going to be very well in that way. I mean, just in case he plays bishop g5, which is a very normal move here. Okay, this is interesting. He's playing d5. He wants to open some lines since my king is still in the center. Okay, that's fine. Also, my bishop is hanging on d6 now, so I cannot just castle because he's trading and taking. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. A good idea in these positions is to trade and then block and keep everything as close as possible, but I don't think that's working right now, because then this diagonal is going to be very weak. Well, I can do that. If he checks, I block, but also he's going to b5 with the knight. That's annoying, taking my bishop. So taking and advancing is not working, but I can take and advance over here. But he still plays knight b5, so not so good. Yeah, d5 is a good move. But, okay, well, what if I take? Because I have more attackers. I didn't notice that. I have more attackers, so I can just capture here. It's a little risky, but it looks fine, so... And also, I've been thinking too much in the opening. I shouldn't do that. I know he has some initiative, my king is still in the center, but it feels like a position we can play. I mean, we have a pawn up, and now we traded queens. When the queens are not on the board, the attack should not be so strong. Okay, this is a good check. He wants to play knight d4 if I play knight c6. Also, he wants to play rook e1 next. Okay, so my options here are bishop d7, knight c6, knight d7, or just move the king. Okay, I just block with the knight, and I'm planning to go back to d7 if there is any kind of knight d4, and if there is a check, I will go to d8. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I go to d8. It doesn't feel like completely safe. There's some knight g5, it's almost like knight g5 or... I can always play bishop g6. So it's not like great. He has some compensation, but if I can survive the next moves, not losing material, I could be winning the endgame. Also, he plays very fast. He has like the same time, 5 minutes. Okay, bishop e3. That should not be so strong. I mean, he's like playing very slowly now. That gives me some time. However, he's putting 2 pieces to play because he's putting the bishop and also the rook to play. So in the end, it's probably a good move. So what to do here? a6. Okay. I think I'm playing a6. I'm weakening a little here, but also this bishop is a great piece. So okay, probably he wants to go to b3, attack here on d5. Okay, I'm planning to go to c7. Now I'm controlling and protecting, and okay, rook d1. He's attacking my central pawn. I have some ways to defend it, but this is a nice way to defend that pawn. Rook d8. If he takes here, I have discovered getting the rook or the exchange. Okay, bishop b3. I need to bring another defender now. So probably bishop a6. I cannot find anything better. Bishop e4 is not good. He can play knight g5. So bishop e6 is fine here. The pawn on d5 is also isolated. That's why I have to protect it with pieces. That's not good. It's a problem. Well, knight d4. Trading is good. Trading is always good. But then the bishop is going to be attacking g7. It's not clear how can I defend it. So maybe I just improve my pieces, like rook e8 maybe. Okay, rook e8. And here he can remove my 2 bishops, but then my pawn structure is going to be fixed. My pawns are protecting each other, and then it's easier to play with my pieces since they won't have to be protecting a pawn. Okay, rook c1. He doesn't have any real threat here. So let me see how can I improve my pieces. I'm thinking bishop b4. Okay. I'm going to play bishop b4. He can play rook d1. Also, there is a check over here. Need to be careful with these ideas. After rook d1, I'm hoping rook d1 as the best here. So let's see, rook d1. What do I play? I want to get out of that file, but okay, rook e2. Is that a good move? Rook e2. Okay. Well, I will play rook c8 since I want to get out of this file. But he can play rook c2 here. If he plays that, I'm coming back to d7. But he can play bishop a4 then. With a very big pressure here. Not sure about that line. Okay, rook c2. King d7 is not really working. Okay. Okay. Well, probably this is a good moment to give the pawn back. Yeah, I will have to do that. Even if I don't want to, I will give the pawn back. This is not looking good now. Yeah. I have like 30 seconds. And I'm losing the pawn. And my bishop is hanging over b4. So at some point there are some checks over here. So this is not looking good. He takes with the rook. Because he wants to capture with the knight and capture here. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have to take here and then I will think a little. I have some tactics here because I can get into this and play. Yeah. This is looking good because I can trade, then play king b7, and when he takes, I'm planning d4. This is interesting. There are some ideas with mate, but he can play bishop d2. I missed that. Well, bishop d2, I play rook e2. Yeah. Okay. So there will be a trade between these bishops, and then there is a threat of checkmate. Yeah, that's a nice tactics. Also, I have 5 seconds every time I move, which means there is enough time here. So let's see how he can defend. Probably bishop a4. I take the bishop. He takes the rook and I play e2. So this is okay. No, not winning. He plays 93. Okay, so bishop a4 is working. Bishop a4. Yeah, bishop a4 is winning for white. Bishop a4, he saw it. A good player. Okay, well, then it's working. Okay. I have to play rook c8. Yeah. And then he plays anything like bishop f4, bishop d2, but everything is fine here. I would play a5 and I would capture the pawn on a2 then. And see what happens later. I'm gonna play knight d3 here. I have some tricks under time pressure here, so maybe I can make him play some mistake. Okay. I play f6. I don't like the knight going to e5, so that's why I play that. I'm planning bishop c4 in the next. King e2 is too risky, he's pinning himself, so I don't think he will play that. He can play knight e1, knight c1, okay, knight e1. I don't like to lose my pawn here on b6, so I protect it. He can play here knight f3, seems to be a good move. Okay, knight c2, is that a good move? What if I play bishop b5? Okay, bishop b5 is winning, because if he takes, I take on c2, and then I'm threatening 2 pieces. And if he doesn't take, I'm playing a4 in the next. Yeah, bishop b5 is winning, I'm sure. That's right. I'm getting a piece here, so I will have the exchange up. Okay, bishop takes, and then we said rook takes knight. And then he can play king e2, I take the bishop. I think that's one of the best things he can play. I'm winning here anyway, I think. Clearly winning in all the lines. Yeah, the endgame with the exchange up is winning very easily. Okay, so I want to check a couple of interesting moments in this game. I thought I was winning at some point over here. I mean, he sacrificed the pawn for some compensation, and he had it. And probably I made some bad moves over there. I had to give the pawn back, but then he takes with the rook because he's planning to recapture with the knight and take the bishop. That's interesting. So he takes, and then he takes with the rook, which is not a good move. I think he should take here with the knight. Okay, so he takes here, then I trade rooks, which I didn't have to, because I could just move the bishop and then I don't lose the second piece. So probably taking with the rook is a mistake, and probably taking again is another mistake. Well, I traded. I was under a very big time pressure, and then he has like 2 pieces for my rook. But then I saw this d4, and the idea is that these bishops will be traded, so I can mate over here. So he's just playing bishop a4. That's the only defensive move I could find at this point. And then the idea is that if I take, he takes. If I play e2, he's playing knight d3, and he's fine. He has 1 piece up. This is an interesting move. So I just continued the game with a rook against 2 minor pieces, hoping I could create some tactics or some complications. Then he plays knight c2, and the knight is a little exposed here. It's in the same line as the rook. And then I saw, well, the defender, I thought the defender of the knight is the bishop, so I can just put some pressure here and then see what happens. At first sight I thought bishop b3 was working, but then I saw that after bishop b3 I could play a4, attacking the bishop again, and then the knight is hanging. So I created another challenge for a 5-5 game. I should be playing as white in the next, I hope. Okay, I'm playing as black again. Let's see. Okay, my opponent is playing b3. Okay. Well, let me remember how to play against this. The idea with b3 is to play bishop b2, and then if I put the pawns here, he would put some pressure with knight here, the bishop over here attacking my knight. So just to avoid that thing, I just play d5. Yeah, I won't play e5, so he doesn't attack my knight. I mean my pawn. Okay, he trades. That's an interesting line, but I don't think it's too strong. The idea here is to destroy my pawn structure, but also he's losing his bishop. So he's getting something, but he's also losing something. Typical move here is c4, not right now maybe, but at some point. Okay. So knight e2, I'm planning something like bishop g4, because he should play f3, and I like that. Because then this pawn on e3 is going to be more or less easy to attack, if I can force him to play f3. Okay, he's playing with h3, which means he's never playing f3, because then the weakness on the king side is going to be too much. So let's see what he's playing. Okay, he's playing g4. I have to play this, and then bishop g2. Okay. Well, there is a nice diagonal over here for my bishop and my queen. Well, he's taking my pawn, but not really. I have check, he blocks. So yeah, maybe he's taking my pawn. So I just protect it. I have to protect it anyway at some point. So I protect it, and then he plays c4. Is that a good move? I mean, I'm looking at these checks over here. I know he can block, but maybe I can, for example, remove the knight first and then give some check. In the end, he can just play king f1. It's not like he's lost or something. Okay, well, I'm just going to trade here. I'm thinking too much, so I'm just going to trade. Not sure that's the best, but that's what I'm playing. And then I'm going to improve my rook. This is a good move. My rook is not doing anything, and now it's doing something. So it's in a half open file. Okay, he's playing c5. Okay, this guy is aggressive, right? He's playing g4, c5. So let's see. I don't think that's a good move. I mean, his pawns are too advanced, and that could be a problem. I have 2 bishops. So, and I wonder why doesn't he castle? I mean, what is he waiting to castle? Okay, queen b3. He's not really threatening anything if I develop my knight, because if he takes, I play rook b8. So I will play this. Yeah, okay. He can develop like knight c3 now. That's interesting. That should be a good move. I'm thinking of some breaks at some point because he's taking, but that's a move I want to play at some point because I don't want him to control my position. I mean, to have so much space forever. Okay, knight c3, that's the move we were already expecting. And I'm going to play rook b8 to play b6. Yeah, rook b8, I like this move. I want to play b6 very soon. So my pieces can move, my knight can move, my bishop can move a little, my queen can do the same. That's why I play this. He can play h4, trying to get my bishop, forcing me to play h6 or h5. He can try that. But it's not really a big problem, but he can try it. And the other thing he can try long time ago is just castling king side. That's the best move, I think. Well, he's just playing rook c1, and I said I wanted to play b6 and I would play it. That's my idea here. I'm not even sure how I will recapture when he takes. I cannot capture with pawn because then I'm losing here, so I have to capture with some piece. So I have some threats over the queen in that file. Okay, he's taking here. He's taking here. Well, I have to recapture here on c5. I don't think there's anything better. But I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, he has the king in the center. I have two bishops, which is clearly good for open positions. Okay, queen a4, that's interesting. He has some pressure. I can always play knight b6. I can always play rook e7. Rook e7, he can play knight d5, so it's not looking like so good. So I'm going to play knight b6. Okay, knight b6, knight b6. I'm not sure what happens after queen takes pawn, but this is very unclear here. I cannot calculate everything after the capture, but I have the feeling that I will capture here first, so I don't lose my pawn on c5, and then I will see where I put the rook. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so yeah, I was thinking pawn takes pawn, and if he takes... Okay, pawn takes pawn is fine. If he takes, I can analyze queen takes knight, because there is a pin, but also this bishop is going to be hanging. So probably that's not so strong. Okay, so knight takes pawn, queen takes knight. He can also take the exchange here. Because if I take the bishop, he's taking then the bishop one more time. I can play rook takes pawn, but yeah, in the end he captures the rook and he blocks on e2. So yeah, knight takes pawn, not sure how to play against that. I think I will just move my rook. I have to move my rook here. Rook e7 is probably fine. Rook e7 is fine because I have some threats over this rank, and also I have a threat over here. So this is looking good. Actually, I don't have any real discovered. I mean, he can just like move the knight, for example, back, and I don't have any really strong discovered. But I feel like I always have some compensation. Okay, knight e2. He's protecting the knight on d4. I can try here bishop and bishop takes. Okay, that's a good idea. That's a good idea here. Because he's probably playing queen a3 or a5. Okay, I'm going to play that. I don't have too much time, so I'm just playing bishop e5, discovered. Also getting the knight on d4. So he can play queen a5, for example. I take, and then he needs to take with the pawn. Wait. So what if he plays queen a3, I take, and then he takes with the knight? Because if I take his knight, then he's taking my rook here. That's a good line. So queen a3 is probably the best move he can play. Okay, queen a6. I don't think that's a good move. I mean, I don't think that's the best move he could play. So I just take on d4, and if he takes with the pawn, I take on d4 again. I'm just getting my pawn back. It's not like great, because then he can castle, and then he's like with an extra pawn anyway, because my pawns are doubled here. But I don't see any other way to increase the pressure on e2 right now, so I'm taking the pawn on d4. I have some ideas with queen d3 or bishop d3. If he castles, I can consider queen d3. Okay, queen d3 is interesting, but he can play bishop e5. So if he castles kingside, what do I play? Yeah, queen d2 is interesting, with the same idea, bishop d3. Okay, so if he castles, queen d2, he moves the knight, for example, knight g3, bishop d3. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, bishop f3, that move should not be good. That should not be good. I can still play bishop d3, right? Okay, I'm playing bishop d3 here. There's no mate. Everything is controlled right now, so bishop d3 is fine. He can play queen a5, for example. Okay, queen a3. But I can double rooks here. I have a big pressure now. So this should be winning. This should be winning for black. I don't see how he's defending here. Queen takes rook, rook takes, the knight controls. This is fine. That's the problem when we don't castle, right? The king in the middle is always a problem. Even if you don't see a winning sequence right now, the king is a problem anyway. That could be later. Some tactics or some pressure. So he should castle a long time ago. Not sure why he didn't. And this knight here is like my hero, right? This knight on b6, because if he takes, then the knight is there protecting everything, so there is no mate. So the knight is a great help here. Okay, well, this was a complicated game. Actually, I feel like at some point I didn't play the best and I could be in a bad position, somewhere over here. I think if he castles in this position... Okay, well, in this position is a mistake. He couldn't castle because of the check. So maybe he has to play this, and then bishop here. Okay, but this is a good moment to castle. Yeah, he should castle here, definitely, I'm sure. But I was thinking after castling queen d3, and he takes, I take with the bishop, I have a pain here. So probably I'm not so bad. I'm not so lost in this position. So we're going to finish here. The question for today: which of the two games did you like the most? Also, if you have anything to add, like some comment or some question about some position or anything, please let me know in the comments. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Help my channel with some like if it was like that. Subscribe so you get notifications for my next videos. Never stop believing. See you in the next.